Welcome back, troglodytes, to Would You Rock or Not? I get asked all the time, why don't I do anything except for Gibson? Where's the Fenders at? Well, I have done quite a few Fenders, people just don't watch those videos. So let's do a search here. Trogly Fender. What comes up? The two most popular ones are the Bullet Strat from the 80s as well as the Fender offset Telecaster. But when I first started, I would post these other videos right here and they would get no views. I mean, look at this one, 11 views. But all kidding aside, guys, I do like Fender guitars. I actually almost slightly prefer the sound of them sometimes, but I've just never really gotten into the history of their guitars. So for today's episode, I thought, hey, why don't we introduce a Fender to the Rock or Not series? I went to Sweetwater's website, I typed in Fender, and this is the first thing that caught my eye. A Thinline Stratocaster. Now, I've actually owned a vintage Thinline tele, and I've always wanted one prior to the day of getting one, and I just think it's a really cool concept. Now, this Stratocaster is actually a signature model for Eric Johnson. He essentially said it's the exact same guitar as his other ones, however, it's a semi-hollow construction. So in the Gibson world, this is created very similar to a 335. Now I had thought maybe they just chambered out the one side of the Strat on the bass side, but they also did it on the treble side. I would be very curious to know what this guitar looks like underneath the pickguard. Eric chose to have it spec'd with an alder body and a maple neck. The neck profile is a 57 soft V, and it has a 12-inch fretboard radius for ease of bending. It sports Eric's signature pickups. I guess the bridge pickup in this one is a little bit hotter than usual. Now, I'm not a Fender expert. Maybe they've done this before, but I really don't think so. It's only those Telecasters I was talking about. But Eric Johnson, very phenomenal guitar player if you haven't heard his work. He said he liked the hollow body sounds for the resonancy, but he loved his Stratocaster ever since he first got one. So for his new signature, he wanted to blend the two. Because this way he gets a lightweight guitar, but it still has that traditional Fender shape with the resonance and clarity of the semi-hollow body. So just how light are these things? Because Stratocasters typically aren't that heavy. One nice thing about shopping on Sweetwater is they do list the weights of guitars, so let's go ahead and compare the 4 white ones they have. You can see here they're all about 7 pounds, which I was surprised by. I thought these would have been like 5 pounds, because isn't a normal Strat around 7 pounds anyways? Something else I saw while comparing these guitars is it seems like this one all the way on the left here is actually a different hue of white compared to the other 3. I mean, look at this one. Does it not look brighter? The lighting situations had to have been the same, but I don't know, maybe something got messed up in editing on these photos. It appears brand new. These run around $2,000. I've seen some open box deals go as low as $1,600, and they offered them in vintage white and tobacco sunburst. Which one would you guys prefer? Personally, I don't really like this tobacco sunburst one. I think the F-hole makes it look a little bit weird. The classic white just speaks to me. But speaking of weird F-holes, maybe they should have put it in a different location. I mean, does anybody else feel that's kind of an awkward spot? It's not quite at the middle position of the guitar like you would traditionally see on like a 335. But I can see why they placed it where it is, because you've got that comfort cutaway there, and that would be bizarre if they would have moved it down there, because then you'd have an F-hole with the comfort carve, and that might not be too comfortable on your arm. But something I think I would have liked is if they would have moved it all the way up on the horn. Now I'm going to shoddily edit that up, so we'll see if that actually looks good or not. But I think it would have a very nice look to it, because then you wouldn't be covering it over while you played, and it would seem more like a limited edition model, in my eyes anyways. I really like the weird stuff, so I thought a semi-hollow Stratocaster, this is something I would like to try. So now that we've learned a little bit about this model, let's go ahead and hear how one sounds. only question left, would you rock an Eric Johnson signature Thinline Stratocaster or not? Leave your answer down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.